Okay.
Coach, just bouncing back from that Magic game to kind of have a definitive win tonight, just what did you see from the guys as far as execution?
Well, I thought, we were focused really throughout the game. There was a few situations that, we've got to continue to clean up. We can't overhelp in certain situations with the wrong guys and give up, particularly corner threes. So there's some things we can take from tonight and improve upon, but thought we moved the ball. There was a stretch where we weren't strong enough and they got physical, and we need to make sure that just the simple things like getting open, ball faking, those plays are big plays, and we were able to overcome them tonight. But I think there's things that we can look at. We were really ready to play. It's a credit to our guys that they were as focused as we were. That's the expectation, particularly this time of year, on games that have this level of importance.
I mean, you mentioned the overhelping. I'm curious if it's just a matter of these guys still kind of getting used to working with each other, like George and
it's a lot of it's just individually related. We're faking at the ball and leaning. And, give Brooklyn credit too. They've been shooting and making a lot of threes, but that's more about game plan execution. It might not be that situation, but there will be situations where there has to be a level of focus, and it's got to be greater than it was tonight. Because as you get into these games, your margin just gets smaller and smaller, and breakdowns are mistakes that you can control. And if they hit a shot over a contested hand, we don't foul. That's different than closing out not close enough to somebody because you've leaned and you got your hand down and we don't contest. And those are the ones we just can't have.
Coach, you mentioned just cleaning up some things that Brooklyn had that 8-0 run to start the fourth quarter. You guys called timeout, ATO play for Zach for that three from Onyeka. Just what were you, looking at in that kind of beginning of that fourth quarter?
Yeah.
And was that one of those kind of cleanups that you were looking at?
Yeah, I think, they started, doubling train, pick and roll. Him, in those situations, his willingness to hit Onyeka and trust him, and O's proven that. His decision-making when he gets the ball in those advantage situations, whether it's to go to the rim and finish or, find somebody in the corner. So the biggest thing for us when that happens is just to recognize it and to make sure that we're spaced. And then they've got to make the right play, as opposed to, a more intricate play. But it's the execution oftentimes of something simple, that if you don't execute it, the result oftentimes can be a turnover. Okay? All right.
Thanks.